all-new Dr. Phil. Her family says she's a liar
I know I'm pregnant. I'm not crazy.
and delusional.
I'm naming my baby Jesus.
Do you believe this baby's the Son of God?
Yes.
If the baby never shows up, what do you say?
I feel him kick all the time, Dr. Phil. I will be giving birth. I'm not going to deny my baby. And that's going to be the end of this conversation until I get my ultrasound on stage in front of the world.
Today,
The ultrasound was performed on Haley.
what will the results reveal?
I'm sorry, Dr. Stork, but you can't lie to Jesus. You can stick that little ultrasound.
Let's do it.
Have a good show, everybody. Here we go.
This is a safe place to talk about hard things.
Stand by. We'll count you down.
Try to be an emotional compass and point you in the right direction.
5, 4.
I am not giving up on you. Well, yesterday we met Haley, who is adamant that she is 9 months pregnant and going to give birth to an active baby any day now. Haley claims her baby is a boy, not just any boy, but Jesus, the Son of God. She is furious that no one, including her mother, Christy, sister, Adriana, and multiple doctors and clinics believe that she is pregnant. Now, Christy and Adriana say they can't tell if Haley is a compulsive liar or just plain delusional because every word out of her mouth is a lie. Now, here's what happened yesterday.
There is no what if. I am pregnant. And it is Jesus. I'm 9 months pregnant. My family, my friends, my pastors at church, they don't believe that I'm pregnant. I'm not stupid. I'm not crazy. I'm tired of playing these games, and it's about to be over with. I am now days away from giving birth.
She's not pregnant and never has been. I gave her 2 home pregnancy tests and they came up negative, and then I took her to the clinic and they even did a pelvic exam and it was all negative. And then I took her to the health department and they gave her a pregnancy test and it came up negative.
I know my pregnancy is real. See, I've gained at least 22 pounds. I was sleeping one night and my baby punched the bottom of my stomach and kicked me up. And I can feel his head right here. It's like right below my belly button.
We've talked about the pregnancy. You say it's a boy. You say you're eating for 2. You say the baby likes you drinking chocolate milk. She's told you she's eating for 2.
Yes.
You say he loved the Mexican food you ate the other day.
Yep.
How do you know that he loved it?
It was the cheese and stuff because, like, I don't eat very much in the first place. So that's when I knew I was pregnant. I started eating a bunch.
Haley, do you feel tension in your family right now?
We still argue a bunch. Like, even the other night when we were at the hotel, we got into an argument.
Quit yelling
Get a mom's face.
Get out of my face with your phone.
Get out of mom's face.
Get out of my face.
Get out of my face. Get out of the face. And
Stop!
don't touch me again.
You just jumped up on me. I'm pregnant. What do you expect?
Your mother and sister think you lie. Have you told some things that aren't true?
Yeah.
My daughter is a compulsive liar and delusional. She lives in like her own little fantasy world. My sister Haley is crazy.
You said, I donated a kidney to my brother.
That's a lie.
Have you told people you were on American Idol?
I have not told people I was on American Idol.
Has she told people she was on American
Yes,
Idol?
she did.
And that's all you can say. You're not pregnant. You're not pregnant. You're just jealous.
You guys get combative.
Yes.
So what do you think brings this tension on?
Well, I'm already pregnant as it is, and me and my mom, we have never been close. I'm a paranoid schizophrenic at that.
We've examined the records, and that diagnosis was not written down.
She's never been diagnosed. She diagnosed herself.
Is it your understanding that one of the characteristics of psychosis is that you have a difficult time separating reality from fantasy?
Definitely.
Did you tell people that Eminem is your father?
Yes, I did, actually. Yeah, I did.
Is he your father?
I am not sure. My mom has pictures of a guy that looks just like Eminem. Like, I'm not even kidding. Looks just like him, and I'm sitting on his lap and everything.
No.
And that wasn't Eminem, it was a family member.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, there he is, yeah. Just like that,
No.
except without the
No.
hat, and he always wears a
No.
white t-shirt.
No.
Yeah.
No.
No.
Okay. So you have told people Eminem's your father.
Yeah. There's this picture of me when I was little. It's on my Facebook.
I've seen the picture.
Yeah.
Do you really believe
Oh, I do. Yes, I do.
you believe he's your father?
Yeah.
She knows who her dad is.
But don't you think that would be something that would be
Kind of crazy.
kind of noteworthy if
I mean, kids. Everybody has kids all the
Eminem
time.
was your
and
father? I mean, don't you think?
I don't think it's that crazy, honestly.
How would your mother have met
Are you kidding?
Eminem?
Well, let's see. I've met quite a few famous people in my life. I've dated. Do you know Harding University?
Oh my God, here goes nothing.
I dated their quarterback.
Do you think that if Eminem was your father, that you would have had some contact with him, or?
I did try to contact him actually through my Instagram. I tried to contact him, looking up his number, like a private number, to call him or a secretary or something like that. And I never got a call back or an answer back or anything like that. And I was trying to get a DNA test
Are
from
you
him.
maybe saying this because he does have a daughter named Haley?
Yeah. Yeah. He has Haley's song. Like I checked that out too. And I mean, it's my baby picture. Like, that's me. Like, you can compare the photos of me. That's me when I was little. And it looks just like Eminem. And I found it on his page, on Eminem's page.
Well, but that's not you. That's his daughter, Haley.
Exactly.
That's a different human being. That's not you. Are you suggesting he has two daughters named Haley?
Who knows how many daughters he has?
Named Haley.
Well, not named Haley, probably. I don't know. I just... Oh, my gosh. Look, looks like me. I have pictures of this dude in my mom's little notebook collection that she keeps in the closet that she never lets me look at.
His name's Mikey, and it's
Well,
a family member.
this is his daughter, Haley.
Yes, it is. Oh, my gosh. It looks just like my friend, what's her name?
I don't know, but it doesn't look like you.
I know, does it? It's weird because I had the same haircut in middle school.
Yeah.
But I didn't look anything like that.
So that's his daughter, and I'm not showing the picture because I don't want to violate her privacy, but that's not you. That's his daughter, Haley.
Well, he may have another daughter that he doesn't know about.
You?
Probably, yes.
Oh.
I have that baby picture, yes. And I have tons of pictures in my mom's closet that I
So
found.
your theory is he has two daughters named Haley. Like, here's my daughter Haley, here's my other daughter Haley?
Yeah.
Okay, now, I talked about your intellect, that you're able to intellectually step back and look at this. Does that make common sense to you?
Sometimes babies get switched at birth from the hospital.
But that's not even what you're saying. You're not saying that babies got switched at birth at the
That
hospital.
is what I'm saying because...
No, you're saying that he has two daughters named Haley. This is one and you're the other. That your mother had an intimate relationship with this rapper from Detroit, and that you're the product of that.
Yeah. Yes, that's not crazy either. Because sometimes kids do get switched at birth in the hospital.
Not when he's
And I
from
have
Detroit
pictures.
and you
I
were
have
born
pictures.
in Memphis.
I have pictures.
You're not saying that they got switched. You're saying that there are two of you.
All I'm saying is that I have pictures with this dude. And it's me because I have pictures in the same dress. I have by myself. I have pictures with the same hair color and everything. And it just happens to be that guy in the picture holding me.
Well, actually, it's not this guy. In fact, it actually doesn't look like this guy at all.
No.
Can you pull up the picture?
It's not that. You saw the picture. It's not him.
Tell me why you would believe that he's your father.
Because the guy that I was staying with in Tennessee, we just never had anything in common, you know? Like, I never saw him as a father figure. I just kind of saw him as, like, this dude who got to take care of me when my mom dropped me off. And I finally sat down with him one day, and I was like, hey, Dad, like, I grew up calling him Dad. I was like, am I really your daughter? And he started acting completely weird. He was like, yeah, I'm your daughter. Yeah, you're my daughter, why would you say stuff like that, Haley? And I was like, all right, I'm getting a DNA test. I want a DNA test, and he denied me for getting a DNA test. And then my mom started acting weird. Oh, that is your dad. I saw the DNA test, girl. It's 96.89.
She has the DNA test. Mom has the
daughter.
DNA test.
They got
showed you
and
the
stuff
DNA
like that.
test.
And I was
They had
like,
one whenever she was
okay, well
first
then
born.
show me the paper.
I have.
And
She
then-
has.
No, you haven't.
Just
I've seen the paper.
I
Not
haven't
too long
seen
ago.
I
You
don't
were
care
right
what
there.
you see. I'm not talking to you.
Yeah, but
I
how did
haven't
you go
seen
from
it.
that to Eminem? There's a lot of choices.
I know. Well, I saw that photo, and then I remember seeing my baby pictures. And so I put two and two together, and I just tried to contact the dude and being like, hey bro, can you give me a DNA test? Come on now.
All right, coming up, Haley says she's here to prove to everyone that her baby is real. She asked for an ultrasound. We gave her one. We're going to reveal the results after the break.
That was my first ultrasound. I could feel him tick and stuff.
I'm here to tell you the results of the ultrasound.
And later, do you believe this baby is the Son of God?
Yeah. In the Bible, it specifically says that Satan comes to the world and deceives everybody.
What do you think you're doing?
You're the Antichrist.
Tomorrow.
Never have I seen a guest wrestling my staff members to the floor, trying to kiss my driver, grabbing a hotel guest in the pool.
I thought he was naked. I wanted to see if he had clothes on or not.
What would drive a good mom
You asked 15 strangers for a ride.
They were construction workers.
to such bad behavior?
So what would you do different, Mr. Dr. Phil? Because, yeah, I don't know what I'm doing.
Then on Monday, lured from a college tailgate party,
He laughed while he was raping me.
the secret tape.
Did you guys have sexual sex?
Do you think the call was a setup?
That's Monday.
I didn't even get an ultrasound. And an ultrasound won't hurt the baby.
Haley, if you're that far along, you will show up pregnant on a urine test.
Not everyone. And like an ultrasound something. They gave me a little P-cup test. That is all they did. It's really aggravating me. There's no more discussion of whether I'm pregnant or not. His name's going to be Jesus. I am pregnant, and I'm not going to deny my child. And that's going to be the end of this conversation until I get my ultrasound on stage in front of the world.
During our interviews with Haley, she told us she needed an ultrasound to prove her pregnancy. So we had a technician conduct the examination on the set of my son Jay's show, The Doctors. So let's look at Haley taking the ultrasound she believes will finally prove that Jesus is on his way.
Lay you down right here.
First, I am gonna have you lift up your shirt just a little bit.
This is my first ultrasound.
So I'm gonna tuck this in. There's gonna be a little bit of cold gel on you, okay?
Can you see him?
Well, the doctor will give you any results.
Well, joining us now is Dr. Travis Stork. He's ER physician and host of the Emmy Award-winning show, The Doctors. So please welcome Dr. Stork. I guess there's a certain irony here that your name is Dr. Stork, and we're talking about a baby here. You ask for an ultrasound, and How did that go? Was the technician nice to you? And
It was really nice. Like, that was my first ultrasound, and it was kind of weird. Like, she was pressing really hard and stuff, and I could feel him kick and stuff, but it was kind of weird.
Right.
The gel was really cold.
And Dr. Stork, this was done on the set of the doctors because you have created examination rooms over there and have an amazing array of equipment on the set over there, correct?
We do, and the doctors, for anyone who's seen it, knows that, yes, we're a show, but yeah, we have exam rooms, we have ultrasound machines. So this morning was when the ultrasound was performed on Haley, and we do have some footage of it.
Okay. Well, can you walk us through it? We're going to show it right here. You can either approach it or from there, either one, whichever you'd like to do.
Well, you know, it's interesting because, Dr. Phil, the most notable thing on this ultrasound isn't what we see, it's what we don't see. And this is a pelvic ultrasound, and the ultrasound machine is basically showing your abdomen, the area exactly where you would expect to see the pregnancy, and there is no baby. And the most notable thing, again, if you compare this, and this is scanning all across your abdomen and your pelvis, looking everywhere, and if you look there, look with me, it is scanning every possible area where your baby would be, and there's no baby. And if you show this, Dr. Phil, a still image of Haley's next to what an ultrasound would look like this far along, at 8.5 months, the baby is almost fully developed. That is what an ultrasound would look like on the right-hand side up there. Again, you can see the head of the baby, you can see the body of the baby, but in your ultrasound, there's no baby.
Well, Dr. Stork, she says that she is 9 days away from delivery, which is virtually full term.
You very clearly see the head here, you see the body, but over here, the one thing that the ultrasonographer said is that Haley did have dilated loops of bowel. And as she was pushing with the probe, those loops of bowel were moving around, and she was distended. And we talked a little bit about that, but as far as the actual ultrasound image, there's absolutely no indication of a pregnancy. And ultrasound doesn't always show a pregnancy until maybe 5 or 6 weeks along, but there's absolutely no way Haley's giving birth in 9 days. That's something you could have been feeling.
You're Dr. Stork, but you can't lie to Jesus.
That's why we gave you the ultrasound today.
You can stick that little ultrasound.
Oh my gosh.
And later,
I have paranoid schizophrenia, and I have not been able to work because of it. And I'm tired of house jumping, whore hopping, cocaine sniffing my way through life.
I use heroin every couple hours. I would rather feed my drug habit than my unborn child.
My sister. How could you do this to a baby?
it gets worse.
Right now, she is really high.
Stop the tape. You're either going to watch this and get in the game, or you're out.
I never had guilt or second thoughts after my first time with Amanda. She was about 12 years old.
Part of me knew that this was not the way that fathers love their daughters.
Your mother videotapes this.
Yes. How could you? Watch him do those things to me to participate, even. He groomed you.
So did you. Let her talk. Amanda, you haven't seen your father since you were 13 years old.
You feel like you've done nothing wrong.
20 years ago, these kind of things were joked about.
Are you kidding me? Molesting your daughter was wink, yuck, yuck in 96? That is complete and utter bull.
Plus,
He has hit rock bottom again.
Survivor Todd returns.
Are you trying to drink yourself to death?
I'm still living it, but I don't want to.
He's having seizures.
He had 12 yesterday, 2 today.
And 1 strikes during the show.
That's the picture of your abdomen looking into the uterus. This is a picture of what you would see with a woman that is 9 days away from delivery.
I am pregnant. I'm not going to deny my baby.
No, what I'm asking you is...
That ultrasound looks like...
Let's harken back to something we talked about early
I feel him
on.
kick all the time, Dr. Phil.
It's called bowel movements.
It's not called bowel movement.
Okay. Talk about that, Travis. What's she experiencing there?
The one thing that the ultrasonographer noticed when she was putting the probe on your belly, you have dilated loops of bowel. What that means is there's some air in your intestines, and when she was moving the probe, those little loops move around. And that when you felt down there and you felt something moving, that was just your bowel moving.
Told you.
And she noted that on the exam, that that's some of what you were recognizing and feeling, and she acknowledged that that's something you could have been feeling.
Sorry, Dr. Stork, but you can't lie to Jesus. You can stick me with all the depot shots that you want to, but he is not going to die. And you can stick that little ultrasound.
I can't hear you.
Oh my gosh, that was so disrespectful.
I couldn't hear what you said.
I have no skin in this game, and I am not here to judge you in any way or what you're going through. I'm solely here to tell you the results of the ultrasound. And Haley, that is your ultrasound, and there's nothing I can say to you other than you are not pregnant.
Like I said.
I'm so sorry, Dr. Stork. I apologize
It's okay.
for her.
It is okay. It is okay.
And thank you for taking care of her.
Let me go back to something that you and I talked about earlier. You know, I complimented you earlier that one of the things that I was really pleased about is that you had the intellectual ability to understand what you said your diagnosis was, which was paranoid schizophrenia, correct? You said you understood that one of the characteristics of that diagnosis was that you sometimes might have difficulty separating fantasy from reality. That sometimes those things blur and it's hard to know what's real and what's not real. And you said, yes, I recognize that's one of the characteristics of psychosis, one of the characteristics of schizophrenia. And I don't know that you have this condition of paranoid schizophrenia. But if you do, then you have acknowledged an understanding that there could be those situations where you had a difficult time separating what was real versus what was imagined or what was fantasy. And if that's true, then you have to acknowledge that one of the things that could be a fantasy with you is that you're pregnant. There actually is a condition called pseudocyesis, which is a false pregnancy where you have all of the symptoms of pregnancy and your body actually gives you all the signals. Correct, Travis?
Absolutely true, and that's one of the things that was noted on your exam, that you do have a distended abdomen, and again, the movements of your bowel could resemble the movements in some ways, if you're touching there, of what you thought or perceived to be a baby. The only way to prove one way or the other is through formal tests, and that's why we gave you the ultrasound today.
I know I'm pregnant. I'm not crazy.
Today is 9 days away from when you say that you're going to deliver. If you don't have a child...
I'm pregnant. I am not going to die with my baby. My baby is Jesus.
Okay.
Bless, man.
Today is 9 days away from when you say that you're going to deliver. And when 9 days comes and goes and there's no delivery, then what do you say then?
There will be a delivery.
Well, but if there's not, and if you're being reasonable and rational, then you have to be willing to accept that hypothetical. And if you aren't willing to accept the hypothetical, then you're just being unreasonable. So I've been very reasonable with you and going down every path and considering everything. So you have to go down the path with me. If the 9 days comes and goes and there's no delivery, just do hypothetically with me, then what do you say?
I'm still not going to deny my baby.
But if the baby never shows up, what do you say?
He is going to show up.
Okay, but I'm asking you.
I'm not being hypothetical. I'm not being maybe, like I said, that ultrasound is.
I'm not asking about the ultrasound.
I'm pregnant. I am not going to deny my baby. My baby is Jesus. But yeah, I will be giving birth.
God
Okay.
bless, man.
Hypothetically, if you don't have a child, what will be your theory or explanation at that point?
Dr. Phil, I'm not going to deny my baby. I'm not being hypothetical about. I am going to give birth, and I'm not going to be what if. So can we just drop the conversation?
Well, you're being very unreasonable with me when I've been very reasonable with you.
I'm not going to deny my baby.
I'm not asking you to deny your baby. That's very melodramatic. I'm asking you to
I'm
just
not
have
preparing for what if. I know, so I'm not going to say what if.
You don't have to prepare for what if. I'm just asking you to have a hypothetical discussion with me.
Because I don't want to talk about it anymore. I just don't want to talk about it.
You have one belief system that you're pregnant. I'm asking you to discuss a hypothetical belief system that you might not be.
I'm not going to discuss that because I am pregnant. I'm not going to deny my baby. I'm not going to say, what if I'm not pregnant?
As long as you know you're pregnant, then what is the risk in discussing the hypothetical?
Because his name is Jesus. I'm naming my baby Jesus. So if I believe or even say that what if I'm not pregnant, that would be denying my baby. So I'm not going to say that because I don't believe that.
Do you believe
this? I am pregnant.
Do you believe this baby that you think you're going to have is the Son of God?
Yeah.
Pardon me?
Yes.
You know that the Son of God was born 2016 years ago.
This is Jesus, okay?
But you know Jesus was born 2016 years ago.
Did the Bible say that?
Yes.
You do remember in the Bible it specifically says somewhere in there that Satan comes to the world and deceives everybody.
It's called the Antichrist, and that hasn't happened yet.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Antichrist. And deceives the world.
What do you think you're doing?
You're the Antichrist.
Okay.
Not bad.
We're going to take a break. Coming up, we're going to find out why Adriana says Haley is using the baby to cope with the terrible things that happened to them both as children.
When my mom kicked me out of the house, I was forced onto the streets. I was homeless. I blame my mom for everything that has happened to me.
Tomorrow on an all-new Dr. Phil.
Never have I seen a guest wrestling my staff members to the floor, trying to kiss my driver, grabbing a hotel guest in the pool.
I wanted to see if he had clothes on or not.
That's tomorrow.
When my mom kicked me out of the house, I was forced onto the streets. I was homeless for over a year and a half. I encountered all kinds of bad things. It's really scary when I was homeless because I had to do things in order to stay at a certain place. I had to do like sexual things. I blame my mom for everything that has happened to me. She kicked me out because my stepdad, he just didn't like me. My mom always put her relationships before me.
Christy says her daughter Haley needs to face certain realities and live up to her full potential. Christy says she's not sure if this is the right diagnosis that she believes that she has. She just really doesn't know how to help her daughter. But she does want her to move past this hurdle. Adriana says the same thing. She says they've both been through some very difficult times in their life, and people have different reactions to that. You know, Adriana, what are you talking about?
When we were kids, we were sexually molested and abused, and I started getting the proper treatment that I needed and stuff, and I feel like if Haley could come to reality and stop living in a fantasy world and be honest with herself and others, I feel like she can be where I am at.
Well, you were very forthcoming with us about that. You were very honest about it, and there's been, you know, life hasn't always been a smooth ride for you, right?
It hasn't been a smooth ride for me, no.
Yeah. And that, I wonder sometimes if you underestimate the impact that something like that can have.
Well, I haven't been able to take my medication. I have not been able to take my medication at all. And they denied me for my disability, and I'm homeless. So that's another issue. I need my disability check, Dr. Phil, or I'm going to die. I'm not even kidding. I need help.
Well, I do want to help you with that. And you've also, along the way, you've taken drugs as well, correct?
Yeah.
You've done meth?
Yes.
And, you know, the reason I say that I don't know what the proper diagnosis is for you is for two reasons. One, it would be terribly unprofessional of me to assign a diagnosis to you, because to do that, you have to go through a very sophisticated process. I mean, to just sit here and talk to you and say, oh, well, I think she's this. Look, you've got to go through a very structured evaluation. You've got to use very sophisticated psychometrics. You've got to go through a whole process.
Yes, but it says specifically in my papers that I have paranoid schizophrenia, and I have not been able to work because of it. And I'm tired of house jumping, whore hopping, cocaine sniffing, butt licking my way through life, because obviously I have something going on. And, you know, before it's another massacre, we need to go ahead and get my medicine back on track and get my disability going.
Let's work on that, because you do have some diagnoses that I've seen that have been assigned to you. As recently as September of 2013, depressive disorder, oppositional defiant disorder, obsessive compulsive disorder. February 11 of 2016, auditory hallucinations. February 18, bipolar mixed psychosis, depression.
Yeah, it's right there, that paper right there.
Let's go look.
This condition can be due to mental disease like schizophrenia, hallucinations, and delusions. That's paranoid schizophrenia. My final diagnosis, it's paranoid schizophrenia.
Yeah, well, you may, that's not what that says, but you may be right. I'm not disagreeing with you. But it also says that drug abusers here.
I already went to rehab for that. Like, I went to rehab for that. This is after I went to rehab, because I got my medications for that.
I understand, but let me show you something, because you're a very bright young woman. Hey, Dr. Phil here. We're ready to start the show, but we're waiting on you. You're going to be in the Los Angeles area and want to watch a live taping of the Dr. Phil show? Call 323-461-PHIL or visit drphil.com. Tickets are free, and I hope to see you soon. Let me show you something that goes on when you put drugs into a brain. We're looking at a brain that is healthy on the left, and what you're seeing is reduced metabolism here this is called the orbitofrontal cortex. You see this right here? And this is the part of your brain that does a lot of the executive functions, that helps you organize your thinking and be efficient in the things that you do. And what we're seeing is you've got a lot of reduced function here when you have a brain that has had a lot of drug activity. When you come over here, here the healthy brain is on the right. And this is pointing to what's called the anterior cingulate area. And this is what you see lit up when you have a history with drugs and there's been a history of addiction. And this has to do with so much of what you're experiencing right now. And I expect that if we scanned your brain, it would look very much like this, where this area is overactive, okay? And when you come down here, this is an area here that should be largely red, but it's not. It should look like this, it looks like this, and again, this is an area that involves emotion, control, reasoning, and I think if we were to look at your brain right now, it would be really different because of the drugs that you've poured in there, and you mix that with mental illness, and it's very difficult for you to reason your way through this. Now, what you've said is that you want to get things under control, you want to get your medications right, you want to figure out what you need to do, if you need to have disability, if you need to be able to get yourself under control, if you need to stop hopping from couches, stop doing whatever you have to do on the street to exist.
Exactly.
I want to help you do that. Will you let me help you do that?
Yes.
I'm going to take a break, and when we come back, I'm going to tell you exactly how I intend to get this done. And boy, oh boy, am I bringing in some big guns to do it. We'll be right back. Want to know what's coming up on Dr. Phil? Visit our website and subscribe to our email newsletter. You'll get weekly updates, life strategies, and exclusive video that you won't find anywhere else.
Plus, on drphil.com, you can see sneak previews of upcoming shows. Log on today.
I've been assessing this situation, and I listened to what you asked me to be able to help you do. And I want to do that. And when I have the ability to reach out to what I consider to be the best on the globe, to me, that's an organization called Creative Care. And their name is no accident, by the way, Creative Care, because they custom tailor everything they do with a multidisciplinary staff of professionals to exactly what every individual needs. And they're based in Calabasas. It's a very intimate 6-bed facility, and it's located on a private wooded property in Malibu Canyon. And this is headed by Dr. Kaligi, who I have known for years. He is one of the foremost leading professionals in the mental health profession. Dr. Mannion works with him. She is just so compassionate, so caring, so competent. These folks are cutting edge. This is Dr. Kaligi. This is Dr. Mannion right here.
Hi, Haley.
Dr. Kaligi, good to see you again. Dr. Mannion.
You too, Dr.
Thank you.
You've been listening here the whole way. This is a delightful young woman here.
Yes.
And I think that you are the answer for her.
This is exactly what we deal with in our facility. So I think you, like Dr. Phil said, we create a program specifically for you. We have a whole team of professionals who are going to work with you specifically about those issues.
The family therapy is going to be a big part of this treatment.
Right. And if she were to need to give birth 9 days from now, you are fully equipped with professionals to handle that.
We can get her to the right place.
That's right. That's what I'm saying. You can get her to the hospital, whatever needed to be done. They can give you the full support that you need there. And so this is my gift to you, to get you everything that you need, get you regulated and on the right track. So I want to make this gift to you. Will you accept that gift from me?
Yes.
I want to thank my guest today. A special thank you to Dr. Travis Stork from The Doctors. Let me tell you guys, if you're not watching The Doctors every day, you need to find them on your dial and you need to watch them. I don't say that because it's my son's show, although it is my son's show. But I'm telling you, it is cutting-edge information that keeps you on top of what you need to know to manage the health of you and your family. And of course, a special thank you to Dr. Kaligi and Dr. Mannion from Creative Care Calabasas and diagnostic medical sonographer Jackie Dominguez. I want to thank her as well. If you want to know more about Creative Care, go to drphil.com. I'm going to have a link there so you can find out everything you need to know about these wonderful and caring folks. We will see you next time. Thank you so much. Thank you, Dave. Good to see you.
My experience on the Dr. Phil show was pretty good, but he denied my kid, and I didn't really like it. Even after they showed me my ultrasound, I still believe that I'm pregnant. I still feel him moving everything. Like, I'm not gonna deny my kid. I am pregnant. Like, I felt him move. This is the funny thing. It was right under my rib. He had his foot right here, and she goes, she sticks me with a thing or whatever, and she presses really hard down, and he moved over here, and I was like, I felt him move, and I was like, oh my gosh.